Good morning. So today is April 22nd, 2025. It's Tuesday morning. And my coffee cup says, "This is my happy place." And if you have been coming here for a while, you know that I have these coffee cups with different messages that I really, really love. And when I say happy place, it means the time, the day, and the time, not necessarily everything else, but everything else is good too. So these are the morning talks that I used to do every day. And if you're new here, for these talks especially, you'd see that I talk about many different things, how this channel evolved, how I evolved, and everything in between. So if you're looking for like quick tip, there are several quick tip all around the video, but I don't plan for it. And then as I talk, different new ideas and new things comes up because I've done a lot of studies for a long time. And if you lost your job, or if you, I put some eye drops on my eyes, kind of. Anyway, I don't edit these videos, as you guys know, if you're coming here for a while. So I think the eye drop didn't go well properly. Anyway, so if you had a job loss, or if you had a breakup or a divorce, especially, and in your midlife, life is not over yet. It's a time to reinvent. Not only that, if you are feeling midlife crisis, even say your work is good, family life is good, you feel the crisis, because that happens. That's actually a psychological phenomenon. Did I say the word right? I don't know. I have an accent, so I think you understood what I said. Because there's even a TED talk around that. So that happens if you're in your midlife, and midlife doesn't necessarily have to be after 40. For some people, it could be at 30. For some people, it could be at 50. It kind of varies based on different life experiences and everything. So the main idea is that this is a chance for you to reinvent your life. You have heard of reinventing product and things like that. Then why can't we reinvent our life, right? So this is an opportunity, because everything that happens in our life, this just gives us an opportunity to make it better. Only if we look at it that way. So to share a little quick story, that why my story may matter, or why my story might resonate with yours, especially if you're new here. About a year and a half ago, I lost my corporate executive job and marriage at the same time. And trust me, when I'm saying this now, I have a smile on my face, but I did not. It was dark. It was as dark as you can think of. For a few months, I didn't even know exactly what was going on, meaning I was in such a shock. I probably acted like a zombie in some way. And I'm like so grateful that I had some really, really good friends, and I still do, who helped me in this journey to overcome that. And some of the close friends, they were absolutely lifesaver, because my family is all in India, and so I had to rely on them here in the United States. I've been here for 20 years. And you could ask me that, why am I here then, if all my family is in India? That's, I came here 20 years ago in 2005, actually. This July, it'll be exactly 20 years. And I just loved living here, And there was another reason, I would say, because where I am from in India is a small town. It's a remote place. So if I were to work even in India in my technology field, I won't be working at my hometown. I will be working at a big city. So I'm like, if I'm living in a big city there, I am going to see my mom and rest of the family once a year. I could do just from here, and I just loved living here. Life is more simpler. And over time, culture and everything, a lot of things, I think I myself changed, because last year when I went to India after 10 years, that's a whole different story. I had a reverse culture shock. I don't know if you guys know what that is. But anyway, going back to the story about this channel and how this might help you. When the journey started, I did not know how life is going to turn out. Every day I had to live like, one day at a time, literally one day at a time. If you have seen my recent videos, you know that I'm excited, I'm happy, I have, fun and joy, all of that. I do fun things. And this is actually where I started. These are the gratitude cards. You can see the gratitude cards. So I started them last January, and I did gratitude practice long before even gratitude practice. They had a lot of research and all of that. Somehow this was my thing. I even implemented at my work for large teams and stuff. There's a long story about that. I don't get into the details much. So for some reason, I knew that I had to start somewhere, and I had to train my mind to be positive, even in that difficult situation. And I grew up Hindu. When it comes to religion, I grew up Hindu all my life. And in India back then, without internet and stuff, I didn't actually know much about Christianity. Now you might see that I wear a cross, so I'll tell you the story. So it was all an exploration from Hinduism to, when things happened, somehow I got into Buddhism. And if you see my own involvement, not necessarily the channel involvement, or we can say both, because both are same. I keep these videos and the life story raw, like, what's going on in my life, so that you can see that how, if a normal person, not somebody who's not popular or anything, can make it through, anybody can make it through. Anybody can make it through. Just have to, the key is not giving up at all. And you just believe in yourself, because there will be so many people, they'll tell you you were not good enough in so many ways. And then when sometimes people won't be direct, but you know what I'm talking about. They will tell you in so many different ways that you don't fit in that meeting room, you don't fit in that boardroom, you're, whatever that may be. They will, I don't know, I don't want to get into that zone, but you know what I mean, that you might have come up with the idea, but someone else will take the idea and run with it, and they get the credit and all of that. So I lived through a lot of it in my 21 years of corporate life, so you know what I'm talking about. But I knew, well, I didn't know, but I always had something in me that I wanted to do something more. I just didn't know what. And I know now that God was shaping me for all of this for a long time. Because I started my first, if you were to call startup, it was a blog site back in 2013, so 12 years ago. And I always had my full-time job, but I had several other different things here and there as a side hustle. There were 2 YouTube channels 7 years ago, whatnot. I learned so much then. And it is not all about that, but those times helped me to learn, not look for external validations. And I did not fully learn it until I would say not even a year ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, right? That is when I realized that you are in it by yourself and the higher power. And the higher power for you, it's God, the universe, something that is bigger than yourself. And that is when life starts changing in a big way. So you'd see the videos that I made. I had this in the background, the gratitude cards, and there used to be a Buddha picture there. And then here on this wall, I had a Shiva, was a Hindu god picture. And then my introduction to Christianity in some way was last March, so about a year ago, through a friend. I mean, I knew it before then, but that experience was very coincidental and very unusual in a good way. And from then, there were many incidents. And not someday, actually, I'll be writing a book first later in a few months that I'm planning to release. And then there'll be other subsequent books where I will cover the details of it. But there were many events that was undeniable for me to not explore the path of Christianity. So I share this because if you are going through this, and know that life can evolve in so many ways. You just have to keep going, not give up. And when you keep going, the path will take a turn sometime you don't even know how or where it is taking you. You just have to keep going. And for me, the way if I look at it, in some way it was like GPS. In some way it was not. The reason I say some way it was because if I was going left, there was something. It was like a guidepost was telling me, okay, next you go right, and then I go right. The next will be like, okay, go, I don't know, 2 months straight, and then I go for 2 months straight, and then take left for 2 weeks, and it's metaphorical, of course, you get it. So that's what I felt like there was something I was following, and there are signs and things that I resonated with, and those are the things I'll write in the book, the details. And I just kept going, and then a friend of mine and her mom, she's actually in one of the videos from last Saturday. If you haven't check it out. She and I are in Barnes and Nobles, and her mom, who sees me as her daughter, she's like, so awesome if you guys are watching it. So later this year, actually, she and I are planning to do a series together. We'll talk about it more later. So anyway, so I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from the church I started going to. I still attend the church. A lot of time it's online because my schedule these days are not allowing me to go in person. But last weekend for Easter, I went on Friday night and Sunday. I took my daughter there also, so that was fun. Yeah, so the main thing I kept doing after all of this, like, when this happened, like I was saying, I was like a zombie. And I had a lot of sadness and pain from people not understanding, people closer to me not understanding what was going inside me, like in my mind, not necessarily the physical body, because physical body outside more or less was looking same, but internally I was very broken, and even if I would tell them, they won't get it. And now when I look back, I mean, it is normal for people not to get it because nobody has walked the path that we are walking. We have 8 billion lives and 8 billion unique paths that we all are in. And our pain and suffering comes from when we expect someone else to fully understand our pain. But they will never. My mom, she, I feel unconditional love from her, and I feel so grateful because from her is how I learned how to love my daughter. And I am not, as perfect as my mom, but I try. Yeah, because I remember in so many different instances, kids, they if you have a kid, like my daughter is 9 years old, they can push boundaries and test your patience to the level that maybe nothing can test you to that level. But anyway, so I think of like my mom, how she does it for me, and then I try my best to do that. But every day I figured that I have to do it for my daughter. And some of my very, very good friends, especially one of them, she kept reminding me, and she had a difficult childhood, but she's such an amazing person. I might do a series with her too at some point, maybe next year. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so when I say series, I mean YouTube weekly series. That's what I mean. But she is so amazing, and she kept encouraging me that what you are doing now, that is going to help your daughter to see how you are managing that pain, difficulty, and suffering, and how you are coming out of that. And that helped me. And even this day, I keep telling her. Even yesterday, I told her, like, those initial months, the way she helped me is I'm like so grateful, so grateful. Sometimes you can't thank a person enough, and she and few more of them in my friend circle are like that. They saved my life in some way. Anyway, so I knew that I had to figure out a way to get to the end of the tunnel, the dark tunnel or rock bottom, whatever you call it as. And for months, the tunnel was very dark. I mean, it's just. So when it was super dark, there was of course no starting of the videos. So after about 3-4 months is when I think I got to a point. So it was in November 2023, and then March, which was about 3-4 months later, March of last year, I was thinking to start the channel, and then life got busy, doctor's appointment, whatnot. Then I started in Memorial Day of 2024, and ever since, every day I made these videos. And these are the morning videos. I actually used to make them even earlier this year. Now it's a little sporadic. I don't get a chance to make them every day because schedule got so busy. But I love making them, because in some way I feel like I feel connected with you guys, and so many of you from the beginning, you have been following my journey, and I really, really do hope that it is shaping your life and helping your life in some way. Some of you have commented that it is, so I would love to know your story too. If you're coming here often, but you're not commenting, because you never know, one of your comment can change somebody else's life. So it is for them. If you would like to do, comment. Because when I started this channel, it was like I wanted to do it to hoped that it will be a survival guide for somebody, and survival guide for me too for later, because there were times that I have overcome difficulties all in my own, back in 2008 and then 2018. So in some way, I knew I could do it, but this was absolutely most challenging. And I was like, okay, if I can overcome this, I can probably overcome anything. And that's as like I started capturing. And there is also a thing that when you do things in public, then you're kind of holding yourself accountable, and that's why I wanted to do it in public. Meaning, I was writing down, apart from doing the gratitude cards daily, I was writing down sort of like a journaling type of thing, but I was not doing it daily. So to make it more consistent, then first I thought, okay, I'm going to do a private YouTube. And I figured that if I do private, I'll still not do it every day, because there is this, I don't know, this accountability thing when you make things public. There's a study behind that too. They say when you do your accountability thing in public for New Year's resolution, I forgot what the percentage is. It's like 80 or 90%. Like it really goes high, like how successful you will be with the achieving the goal that you have set for the New Year's resolution. So it was something of that sort. So I was like, okay, I gotta do it in public. So I started it. You would see it's very, very raw. The videos are, they're still raw, like, because, you know, and the beginning ones, you'd see there is no even, I didn't even edit them at all with music or background music or anything. I used to just capture short videos, or I kind of did that to at least on those moments I knew that I have to keep myself positive. So I was focusing on the positives, because that's how you can train your mind when everything else is, you know, going on negative. Maybe in your life there are still positive things, that the sky is blue, and the trees that you get to see. I have like a window right here, so I see the blue sky and the trees and the Mother Earth, you know, the ground there, the backyard. So I talked about in the videos that those were my anchors, because there was, everything was like a moving parts. You know, you are in that, all those moving parts around, so you don't know where life is taking you. And but these are still the anchor points. And this picture, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a picture of a galaxy. So I see it every morning, and every morning, I mean, throughout the day here and there, kind of to remind myself that life in some way is so insignificant in a good way, because we are so hung up on little things, and it is our human nature. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's how our mind works. But this reminds you that there's like little dots are like our planets, and sometimes some of the little dots are like a galaxy. So they're like a tiny dust particle, or even microscopic, that you can't even see. We are like beyond microscopic, right? And then each of us maybe will live 100 years, and then even if we live 100 years, half of our life is kind of gone. I'm 40 something, if you're wondering. So, you know, 100 years, 200 years, nobody will know or remember the little things that we are looking for the external validations or whatnot. Those took me a while, but I'm so glad. I really tell you that all of this happened. And you'll be like, that is weird, right? But it is necessary. I do believe that, you know, for you it could be God, universe, whatever resonates with you. For me, it is God. And again, some people may judge, or I don't know, even criticize the way I believe in God, because we are all very different. Not only that, our journeys are very different. I have had people criticize me, so that's okay. And that's what I'm talking about, not looking for external validations, right? Because when we do that, I have done it a lot in my life, 40 some years. I lived in different places, met many people from many different cultures, thousands of people, I don't know how many thousands. So I lived through it a lot. And what I figured is that it is important to be authentic to yourself first. You know, they talk about authenticity, and we try to be authentic to other people, sometime at the cost of our own authenticity. Meaning, you know, if I am, and if you're still watching this video, from Christianity perspective, I don't know a whole lot, but I've learned enough, I think, to say this, because whatever I try to learn, I go deep and I kind of learn enough to talk about it. There are several different ways different churches kind of talk about Christianity, and I think in some way, I don't know, it is a little sad, I feel, because it kind of drives away a lot of people who would love to connect with God's message. And just because sometimes their thought process is a little different, not completely exactly the same, they feel isolated when they go to the church or they hear from others. I have known many people in my life, my friends and others, who I heard this viewpoint from, and it is sad. And I'm glad that God I mean, it is God, it's not me. I don't know, gave me that wisdom, if I were to say, I don't know, lack of a better word, I would say wisdom, that I love the fact that in Christianity you have a relationship with God. It's almost like, this is how you can connect with the higher power in a way. At least I did not feel like I could connect in Hinduism, and in Buddhism the concept is very different. It's I don't know, it's all you, the mindfulness is, I feel like in some way it's universal. Mindfulness is nothing other than, okay, I'm in this place and I'm realizing that, like, that I'm feeling the chair under me and I'm talking, I can hear my voice. So you are aware of what you're doing, and I love that part. But when you are just doing the mindfulness practice and everything in your own, I don't know, there's no complete God concept, at least for me, and I know many Buddhism folks also, if you ever watch this video, would I might piss them off. To me, it felt a little exhausting, and I know that I have never heard of it from anywhere, that the Buddhism, the practice can be a little exhausting. Anyway, that's just me, and that's a different life perspective, and that is being authentic, right? So there's always some good in all religions, I think. It's just what really resonates with you, and sometimes different life experiences and the circumstances you are in right at that point will speak to you differently. And I remember this, so a friend of mine and I talk about it quite a bit, so you must have heard, or if you didn't hear, Joe Dispenza, very popular. He broke his entire backbone, and he had a big accident, I think it was 1980s, and then he broke his backbone. A lot of specialists, doctors, they said he can never walk again. He was in the hospital for 3 months, and he kept what do you call, not affirmation, but things like that through his mind. He worked on it. After 3 months, it was all healed. He walked out of the hospital like a normal person, and the doctors couldn't explain it. So his theory, Joe Dispenza, his theory is more like, he has lots of books. One is called You Are the Placebo. Another one is called Becoming Supernatural. That's where he covers it more. And then Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. So his theory is that when you connect with that universe, you can change yourself to the point that at the DNA level, your genes can be changed and all of that. There's so many different studies about, like, and since I'm fascinated about all of that, Joe Dispenza and so many other people, Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, and so many more books I have here, over there, and I have been studying this for a long time, TED Talks and all of that. So I think a lot of those, thankfully, it did help me when I had this happen a year and a half ago. I don't think otherwise I would be able to come out of the dark tunnel so quickly. To say, like, in a year would be a short time after losing job and marriage at the same time. But that's also, I believe that I had to go through this storm so that I can help people, and now I'm able to help people in a meaningful way because I lived through it. And each and every experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm grateful for. As weird or I don't know it may sound, that is what shaped me for who I am today, and where, point A to point B. Point A is where it's all fear-based. Point B is all faith-based. And it's not necessarily, faith doesn't necessarily mean only God. Faith means you believing in yourself and to something beyond, outside of you. If you're an atheist person, then you probably believe in just yourself. But the belief has to be so strong, even if you don't see it, you believe that it exists, literally, because that's how life, because if you think of it, all the worry, all the stress, and everything comes from imagining something so strongly that doesn't exist, right? There's a study, I think 80% or some of the worry that we have never comes true. And when the percentage that comes true is 20%, even for those, studies say that we do better than what we think how we would manage them. So think of this, if you apply the same thing on the good side, like making things in a way so that it would benefit you, so that you'll have a better future. So that's about believing, right? It's like when you plant a seed, you wait for it, but you don't, they use this kind of examples, right, in so many different things. If you plant an apple seed, and the tree will be apple tree, and it will grow apple fruit, but you don't doubt it, you don't question it. You know that it'll be the apple fruit, not orange. So that is the kind of belief I'm talking about, that you have to have that strong belief. So sometimes for people like me who what I mean by that is, we're not atheists who believe in some sort of God, universe, whatever connects with you, resonates with you, that when your belief is so strong that you believe that all of this is for good, you accept all of this happened for a reason, for a good reason, you will start accepting and you will start moving towards a better life. I mean, this is the reality of it. So you have to accept that all of this happened for a good reason. Not only just for a reason, for a good reason, because the way it works is that helps to let go of any shame, guilt, all of those emotions. And I cover those in details in many different videos. If you're interested, watch the details in the playlist that is 2024. I have everyday video. You'll kind of probably see some of the transformation where some videos I was sad, very sad, I remember. And then 2025 is totally different. Like, I'm in an unstoppable zone, and that's what I try to teach people. And I have a new weekly series on Wednesday night I'll be doing on the anniversary of the channel. I'll start from that week, which is Memorial Day week is going to be the anniversary week, and I'm excited. And I'm also planning to release a gratitude journal as an channel anniversary thing. So anyway, you just gotta figure out a way to accept it, and that also comes with forgiveness, which is the hardest part maybe. And once you forgive them for what they did, a huge, huge load will come off. Because until you forgive, that means you're holding on to that, you're not releasing. You have to think that the people who are doing whatever they're doing, they're hurting also. You may have heard the term hurt people, meaning if people are hurting, they will hurt other people. And I'll give you an example. When you are in bad mood or you're going through some real difficulty, which means you're hurting, and if somebody did little something, it will make you pissed. You will react instead of positively responding, right? I mean, think of like if some challenging things going on, you're on the road and somebody cuts you off, it kind of makes you mad, right? So that's what I'm talking about, and you might curse or whatever your form of reaction is in that point. So yeah, and imagine the opposite. Say you were in a very good mood, you said in the morning you did gratitude practice, you're like, oh, today will be a great day, all of that, you're in a great mood, you're going to work, somebody cuts you off, you're like, you'll maybe a little bit pissed, but you don't really react with the cursing or anything. So that's what I'm talking about. It's a very simple example, but you get the point. Is that so all those people, whatever they did to you, one is they're hurting, so they're hurting you. And second is your life and your destiny, that is all designed. And Wayne Dyer used to say that we are all here in an art school, and that is one of the best saying I think I love remembering, because all the experiences in life is teaching us something. When you text with somebody, you talk to somebody, I don't know, even I'm making this video or interacting in the comments or whatever that may be, right? We're always learning. We're always learning. Something is always teaching us something, right? So if we look at it that way, and all the people in our life are not meant to be lifelong people, right? Like in school, if you think of like your elementary, middle school, high school, you go from school to school, and then you have different friends that you connect with, and you lose touch with some friends, and you have new friends. Excuse me. And midlife is like that. Our regular, even in general, life is like that, right? All the people that we meet or come across are not going to stay forever. Some are there to be there for a season, only one season, and some might be there for decades, right? But the good thing is we get to choose them. We get to choose them. And sometimes we get so hung up on the external validations that we keep choosing the wrong people. And that goes with, we got to be authentic to ourselves. If we are not authentic to ourselves, we will be choosing people who are hurting us. And you gotta help other people, but at some point you gotta figure out the oxygen mask thing. You guys know the concept, right? Oxygen mask in the airplane. You have to put your own mask first before you help others. If your oxygen is getting sucked out, you can't help others. So that is something. So I have this here. You guys probably can see it. It's a bucket filler thing. So it's a concept that you may have heard, like, your cup is full, your bucket is full. I use bucket because why not, right? It's a bigger thing than a cup. When your bucket is full, your happiness bucket is full, people around you will be happy, your friends, family, co-workers, everybody, because you will have more to give. when your bucket is empty and you're pouring out, that is when it is challenging for you and challenging for them. So to do the bucket filling, you have to prioritize it. So I'll show you guys this. So I came up with this last year, not only from last year, but it says studies of 20 years and my life experience, all of that has gone with it, which is in the process of getting trademarked. Let me show you this. Sometime I'll show you this on the whiteboard. I'll explain more in a different video, but for this one, so I call this a rich quadrant. I hope you guys can see it. Let me put it there. So see, the rich quadrant, it's number 1 is relationship, number 2 is ideal life, which is basically deepest desires and dreams. Number 3 is career and finance. Number 4 is health, your emotional and physical health. So ideal life, which is about deepest desires and dreams, that's the part I'm talking about when I talk about the bucket filler here, is that, my daughter and I, we went to spring break trip, quick trip last week. And if you haven't seen the videos, I have been releasing them 3-4 every day so that you guys don't get overwhelmed with all of that. I've been posting them last few days, and I think I have few more, quite a bit more, which will be over by this week, I think, all of them. So that is what I'm talking about, desire, deepest desires and dreams. For me, it is traveling. And I absolutely love to go somewhere every 3-4 months. That's just me. That is my deepest desires and dreams. I love traveling. Now, every time, it doesn't have to be super fancy, anything big. You can just go do, the small things too. Sometimes I do this once a week coffee time with my friends, and that is a bucket filler for me. And you have to schedule those, because if you don't, they don't get done automatically. Your fun, it sounds weird. Why would you schedule your fun? Then it's not fun. But your doctor's appointment gets scheduled, and that's why it gets done. It's exactly like that, because our schedule, our life is busy. And what happens is, by the time you realize that your dreams and desires are not met, until it is too late. What I mean by that is, it affects your relationship, it affects your career, it affects your health, to the point that you're getting sick, or you are overworking because you're overwhelmed with your other areas that you need to exercise. So as you're trying to balance, the balance, it gets off with all the other 3 things when you are not taking care of your dreams and desires. Now, there are different workplaces which take advantages in different way. I'm not going to get there, maybe someday. But the point is that at the end of it, it's you versus you. You got to decide what's important for you. And midlife gives you a chance, especially if things fall apart. I mean, it'd be nice if things didn't fall apart and then you started taking control of this. If your family life, work life, your health, everything is going good, and then you're like, okay, there's still something missing and I gotta work on it. You have midlife crisis, you do, instead of just buying a convertible, or sorry, just fixing my chair. Instead of sorry, again, I'm not gonna edit it, as you guys know. So instead of buying a convertible or whatever that is, you work on yourself. That is what will give you a long-term happiness, and that's what is we all after, isn't it? Like Christianity talks about peace, Buddhism talks about peace, right? So the Buddhist monks, 10 hours of meditation or more, why did they do it? For peace, enlightenment, right? So everybody is in some way after that happiness, joy. It's more like a joy than happiness, and there's a difference in that. Joy is more internal and happiness is external. So why not schedule it? So that's why I came up with this, and it kind of helps you to just post it. I have a lot of post-its here. So it kind of reminds you to keep that as one of the important points to live a happy life, and it literally changes your life when you start prioritizing that. So I teach that more to people who get the coaching from me, but of course on the channel also here and there I bring it up, because I know that at this stage, when you're going through divorce or you have been through divorce, it's not easy to spend again more on reinvention, right? Because I'm not a therapist. You may want to go to a therapist, and the therapist would help you to heal. And I focus more on the future reinvention. I mean, of course, healing is part of that. And I don't go by the traditional therapy route, because what I mean by that is, and again, disclaimer, it's all on my own. That's what I like, what works for me. I think that when we talk more about the sad, we stay in this zone, right? I'm talking about point A to point B. When we keep talking about what is happening and what happened, it keeps us here, rather than we want to talk from the future, not from the fear, from the future, how the future is better, how it is going to be, and all of that. Then we live here and our life unfolds, because everything here exists and everything here exists. It is like a two different TV channel, what you want to tune on. So I teach how to stay tuned here, and life will have challenging times. I'll put you back here, but I help you to find your own formula so that you don't live here more than seconds or minutes, and you can get to here. So for that, this is, I call it mindfulness triangle. It's the thinking, speaking, action. Thinking, speaking, action. The self-help, the self-help industry focuses on thinking, feeling, action, but I consider more as thinking, speaking, action, because thinking and feeling goes hand in hand. If you think of an experience, think of the last challenging situation you had at home or at work, right? As soon as you think of that, the feeling is there. Can you control the feeling? I don't think so. But chances of you controlling the speaking is a little more, because speaking comes from discipline. You kind of to make it a habit. Let's say, okay, whenever there is a somebody upset me about something, like I have a simple rule. I send 3 thank you notes to my friends, 3 different friends, right? It sounds weird, but trust me, it works. So there are things like that. You speak necessarily doesn't mean you have to speak to somebody. You can text it or you can speak it, whatever works for you. That changes your action. You then use chances of you taking a positive action is more, like I was talking about when you're driving, you cursing somebody versus when you do the gratitude, chances of you cursing somebody else is less. Rather, you would be kind of nicer, and that kind of goes in a loop. Then your thinking is more positive, because ultimately your action is what changes the life that you live, and you want to increase the probability of you taking an action that is positive, and that's how you can do it: thinking, speaking, action. So anyway, so these are the 2 things that I follow every day, even now. And some of the things, like this video I was talking about, mindfulness, connecting with the sky and the blue sky, the tree. I mean, now even like this morning when my coffee was warming up in the microwave oven, I went outside in the deck, and I was, smelling what I could smell. It rained a little bit this morning, so I could smell the dirt. When the dirt is wet, you can smell. I could hear the sound. There's birds chirping, 2 different type of birds. There was an airplane in the sky, and towards the end there was like a dog started barking, and I could hear my footsteps. So there's so many things you kind of notice that otherwise you would not notice. So I do this mindfulness practice throughout the day, here and there, and you'll see the early days when I used to make these videos. I used to do that and do them on the videos, so that I continue doing that. So it became a habit, And a lot of those habits I still do this day. And if you ask me, those are the secret to happiness and the joy that I live by now. And some of them my daughter does, and I'm grateful that she does. And some of them she's, I think, a little too little to do that. She's 9 years old, so sometimes she doesn't have the patience to do it. I get it. um, but so ultimately it's the consistency. Just show up. The days, especially the days when it's good and you're showing up, it's great. But the days when it is hard, you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself those days to get going. And Jim Rohn says that 6 months is a good time. It's like, it's not too long, not too short, and you will be surprised at yourself. I was surprised in 3 months, and in 6 months I was like a completely different person after I started these videos. And so I speak from experience. For you, if it's YouTube, for Instagram, or private videos, journaling, talking to a friend, doing all these practices with a friend. If you are a Christian person, you can do Bible study. If you are a Buddhist, you can do mindfulness practice. If you're a Hindu or other religion, church, temple, mosque, whatever resonates, just something that will help you to stay positive, even if it's 5 minutes a day. Or you can practice gratitude. There's a lot of research about gratitude practice. And for me, even without the practice, I knew how much it was helping me. So that is what I've been doing this for a long time, because it literally changes your brain chemistry. If you do 3 new gratitude a day, and the new part is important because then it doesn't become a chore, and it keeps your mind focused on the current time, that you feel that there's still something new in your life that you can be grateful for, right? So I can be grateful every day. There's, I'm under the blue sky and the trees, and I have plenty of water, safe water to drink. But then it becomes like, okay, I don't have anything new. So that's why you want to find something new that makes you feel like you still have something. Because when we're looking for it, you will be able to, write up a whole page of things that you're grateful for. Trust me. Like, you just have to look for simple things. We can be grateful for all our organs in our body that works. We can see, we can hear, we can taste our food and things like that. There's, you have food on your table, you don't have to worry, and clean, fresh air to breathe. There's so many simple things. You don't have to look for something huge. But then your mind kind of gets trained in a way that it looks for the other good things. As you train it every day, after 30 days, you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know there's this many. And then after 6 months, it's beyond amazing. So, do the practice, whatever works for you. It doesn't even have to be every day. If you do once a week, just pick a same day, even if it's Monday, Thursday, Sunday, whatever day works for you. Self-care Sunday, sometime you can do that. Whatever day you have a little time, your self-care time, even if it is 5 minutes, just do it every week. I can guarantee you will be a different person in 6 months. So comment below, what resonates with you. I would love to hear your story, and if there is any way I can help, I'd love to help. And not necessarily through the coaching here, even in the comment I can help, and I would love to, because my hope is that this movement, this help people to come out of that pain. I know people who are living through the sadness for years after divorce. You don't have to lose time, because they say that time is the most valuable asset we have. It's not the time, it's the happy time, because we are spending a lot of time in this fearful and sad zone, and we have very little happy time. So imagine if you lived 100 years and 70 years of your life you're here, 30 years is here, not even 30, because majority of our time we can think, we are either afraid, worried, and sad, mad. Then you're not really living your life, right? So after divorce, if it's like 5 years and if you're still suffering here, you lost all your time. You could get over it in like 3 months or 6 months if you really work hard on yourself, and then you can live a better life for the remaining 4 years, right? So that's what you're losing. You're losing the happy time. Okay, so with that, I'm going to finish the video and be consistent with whatever that thing is once a week. And I'll actually have, I'm about to create a gift page for you guys. When I say guys and girls, of course, both. That where I'll give you guys some tips how to do that, where, you know, with a little time, how you can increase the happy time, because that's what all that matters, you know. Because in today's day, nobody has the time to do hours and hours of meditation and feel better. So, but what is possible is, even with a little practice on a weekly basis, you will feel the shift. You just have to do it for a little bit, like a rhythm. You have to make it like a rhythm, like a ritual, you know. Even if it's Saturday morning, every Saturday morning you just do this journaling, maybe 10 minutes. So I'll come up with something that I have some ideas, and I'm actually working on it now. And I'm trying to make it as simple as possible and universal so that it connects with most people. And I'm going to share it with you guys very soon, in next few weeks. And the gratitude journal towards the end of next month. Okay. Take care. What's most important is take care of yourself. And if you have people who are your friends who are also going through this journey, do it together. Because when you do it together, it is more powerful, and each one of you will pull each other up, because one day you'll be sad, the other person will be happy, and vice versa. The other person might be sad, you might be happy. So you can pull each other out. Or if you're praying together, one person can show the light where the other person is seeing darkness. When I was going through the journey, I had a couple of friends who were going through that, and that was helpful, because sometimes I helped them, sometimes they helped me, you know. So that type of thing, it really, really does make a difference. And if you think that they will find benefit from this channel, please do share it. Consider sharing it. Okay, take care. And I will post 3-4 more videos from the spring break today. Look it up. Oh yeah, there are some funny ones, because my daughter interviews me in one, and then I interview her. I don't know if this is coming today or tomorrow. So those are pretty fun. We are up in a log cabin in the attic area, and it's kind of totally unscripted. So it's kind of, some of it is a little funny and weird, because my daughter, she has all this, you know, funny questions. So watch out for those if you're interested. Oh yeah, because I also do this, because this part I do want to mention before I finish. Because in the divorce process, I think it's going to go beyond 1 hour, but that's okay. I will cover this in a short video, like under 5 minutes too, because I do want people to notice it. Because in the beginning, after everything falls apart, you know, we care for our kids, but we don't really realize that how the impact is on them of divorce. Meaning, you know, in some sense, for us, we are big people. We have lived the single life, and then, you know, we had relationship, broke up, and then got another relationship, married, whatever. So we know that we will be okay. You know, the life will be okay. We'll get divorced, it'll be sad or whatnot, and then you will have a life that's something similar to what you have lived before. Even though it was in 20s, now you're in 40s, 50s. But we have an image in our mind how life would be or could be. But for your kids, it's a totally different story. They may have more fear, more anger, because their whole life is changing. right? Because I'm getting a little emotional thinking about my daughter. Because the life that they have lived till the time the divorce happens is the only life that they know of, right? So the life that is going to be beyond that, where my daughter will get to spend time with me and her dad, but it's different. It's different than how it used to be. So, and I'm pretty sure it's for all of you too. If you're getting divorced and if you have younger kids, especially younger than, 14, 15, 16, because after that I think they're more, they understand the world a little more from their experience, but before that, it's like their whole life is changing. It's like a life that they have never lived before. If you think that we get worried about unknown, imagine their worry. It's a totally unknown life that they have never lived. I'm sorry, getting a little too emotional. I didn't expect for this at all. I love my daughter a lot. Thanks to my mom, because she loves me a lot. So, so that's partly why I also, keep doing these fun things, the bucket filler thing I was talking to you about. And the important part is when you do the bucket filler, do the things that they also enjoy. So for my daughter, the good thing is a lot of the things I enjoy, she also loves, like the travel. She's a travel buff, just like me. She loves to go to trips. So we actually already have booked our summer trip. We'll be going to Florida in July, and she and I are both looking forward to that. I told her that every season we're going to go for a trip. So after summer, we might do again in fall, or if not fall, in winter for sure. And we look forward to that. So whatever that is that you could do to keep your kids' bucket full, it is really, really helpful, because in the beginning it is difficult, because you yourself might feel so hurt, so lost, right? Maybe the right word is lost, that you don't know what to do. You don't know how to fill your own bucket. So you have to fill your own bucket first, whichever way possible. And therapy, counseling, all of these are great too. I did it also in the beginning. I did a lot of different things. I don't know, training, courses, boot camp, counseling, therapy, you name it. And all of those actually did help. Like, some helped more, some helped less, but I learned a lot of different things, and which kind of helps me to, narrow things down that can get somebody in 3 months from here to here. So that's why I was like, this thing should not be taking years of our lives, because we are in our midlife. We are not 15, we are not 20. We have lived this life before, where we picked ourselves up before from challenging situations. May not be as big, but we have done it before. So we have formula for ourselves. We just have to use the same formula in a more structured way so that we can overcome that. And so I did that, but I tried to do that for my daughter as much as I can. And I don't know much about kids, but I bought this book, I read it, And sometime I revisit this book from Gottman Institute, John Gottman's book, Raising an Emotionally Intelligent Child. This is very good. This also talks about co-parenting. And there is a TED Talk about successfully co-parenting your kid. Those are so important because I think after things fell apart, at least for me, when I was looking through online, there was not enough material or resources that I found was right there and available that could help me. And even if I could find some for me, I felt like there was not enough to help kids. And, there's therapy and counseling, but that again helps them to process maybe the past and a little bit the present. But I don't know, like, I'm not talking about for kids for reinvention, but what they can look forward to is something, if they can focus on that, and the gratitude practice, and whatever few things. Is my daughter, I know some of the things that she loves, and I try to make sure we do them. You would see on the channel that she and I do these bucket filler days. We try to do them once a month, and we go do fun things, and all day we are just doing fun things. And now that it's going to be end of spring, summer, and fall, we'll be doing actually more of them, because we might go to a farm, I don't know, strawberry picking and things like that, a farm picnic. Those are our things that we love. She loves it, I love it. And sometime once in a while she might also go do stuff with her dad. She would love that. And just it's important to remember that the kids' life, their life completely changes in this more than it does for us. So sometime as you are healing, keeping that in mind also helps, because when our focus is outside of us, that we are doing it for our loved ones, it will give you more, what is the word? Not energy necessarily. It will give you more mind power, maybe, to keep going, so that you don't give up. You believe in something that is bigger than yourself, because people around us, they get inspired by seeing how you are navigating this challenging situation. So many of my friends have said that, and it's not about bragging. It's like they're inspired by the things that I'm doing, and I didn't necessarily do it just to inspire. Especially in the beginning, I just tried to survive. Was creating my survival guide. I was creating the survival guide for anybody else who might go through this situation, and I just wanted to reduce some pain and suffering in the world, and I still do. And through the process, people just get inspired as they see that how you are navigating this challenging situation with grace. And every day is not going to be a perfect day, and every day you won't be perfect, so have some grace for yourself too. And don't look for external validations, because that is one of the biggest thing I realized. When I stopped doing that, oh my God, so much pain and suffering was gone. I focused more on the happiness zone and rather on this zone, because it is all, literally everything, you versus you. It's the inner critic and the inner coach. When you are feeling sad, mad, angry about something that somebody said or did or didn't do, it's all your own mind is saying that. They have said it like 5 days ago, I don't know, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, but you're still suffering from that. They're gone. They don't even remember what they said. But it's your mind. The inner critic is constantly going, the chatter, right? On Christianity, you can call it devil and the Holy Spirit, the God. But you don't have to be Christian. You can just see it when inner critic. So your focus, if it's the inner coach, the better future, better present, and past was just a learning lesson. Imagine this is your elementary school. But now you're in your, I don't know, middle school, high school, college. So that's done. That's over. Whatever you had to learn, you learned. And now move on, right? If you're still focusing in here, that means it's also a metaphor that you're focusing on the rear view mirror. To get to a better place, you have to start focusing on the windshield, right? The windshield, high school, college. If you want to do better, focus here. That is going to magnify. That is going to take you to a better future. Okay, so I think, oh my God, this is like a over 1 hour video, but I did it after a long time, so I wanted to cover a lot of different things. I really, really do hope that you find peace, and I know you will. You just have to keep going. The ultimate secret is keep going. Don't give up. Be consistent. Whatever word you want to use, it works for you. Habit, consistency, discipline, show up when you don't want to. All of these are same thing. Basically, just don't give up. If it's not for you, for your kids, if you don't have your kids, for people, your loved ones, don't give up. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it is not only the light at the end of the tunnel. You will see the brightest light that you have ever seen. Trust me, it is so worth it. So worth it. Keep going. Keep going. You will inspire many other people to see the light. Believe in yourself. Take care.